following young players along on their journey, following these young Lions along on their journey and how they'll improve. And I want to talk about that specifically now. So you look at this rookie class, it doesn't even have to be a rookie, it can just be any player. Outside of, I would think, would be the obvious choice in Jameson Williams, which Lions player do you think could be a break, currently on the roster, or who you expect to be on the roster, could be a breakout star for them next season, outside of Jameson Williams?
I mean, there's some guys you just got to take away. Like Aiden Hutchinson, already a breakout star. When I first started thinking about this earlier, DeAndre Swift kind of popped in my head. I thought that may be like a cheat way to go about this. Because
you know what he is.
We know what he is. He's shown flashes of brilliance. But if I got to like pick a guy that I would put money in at the largest ratio of the bet, like 100-1 to have a breakout year, it's Josh Paschal. That's my guy.
I like that a lot.
He was injured all season. A lot of people complained about that. That's fine. Don't draft injured players. But then when he got in the game, homeboy got 2 sacks, right?
Yes.
He showed that he could play at the NFL level in one game. Now we give him a full offseason of rest. He's understanding the strength and conditioning, understanding the pace of practice. You have Aiden Hutchinson you got to focus on. You have Houston you got to focus on. Hopefully they re-sign Bugs, because I think that's a very important part of the defense.
Big booty Bugs.
I love Bugs. Just hold down that middle, Bugs.
Yeah, facts.
Dan Campbell brought up that guy in more press conferences, just with slight mentions than any other player on the team, and that's why I love him, because I know Dan Campbell loves him.
I agree.
And whatever Dan Campbell loves, I love. That's just how it goes. But yeah, Paschal's the man to me. I didn't love that draft pick last year. We were doing the second day of the draft show here with Scott Bischoff.
Yeah.
I was over in the TD booth, and they drafted him. Like, what the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, is this another we're smarter than the room pick? And then I started to go back, and like I said, I kind of become a film geek on these people, especially after we draft them. And this guy dominated SEC tackles.
Yes, he did.
SEC tackles.
At Kentucky, too.
At Kentucky, when they could have keyed all 5 linemen on him and just been fine.
Yes.
But the dude destroyed people. The same people that Aiden Hutchinson didn't do so well against in Georgia when they played in the college football playoffs. So when I saw that, I was like, man, this guy, he's got something.
He does.
And I think he's slept on this year.
I like that one a lot. He was definitely up there with me. Paschal was one of my top ones. I also thought about DeAndre Swift for a little bit. We have Dante151 in the Woodward Sports chat said, what about Chase Lucas? Because you're looking at, obviously, the cornerbacks were a big position of need.
Yeah.
Chase Lucas is another guy drafted late by Brad Holmes that stayed with the team all year, just got some reps and played well. I wouldn't mind Chase Lucas at all, but I do think it'll be hard for him to jump into there because they're going to draft another quarterback high. They're going to have, whether it be Christian Gonzalez, whether it be Witherspoon, whether it be Kelly Ringo, Joey Porter Jr., they're going to get one of those guys, I assume. And it's going to push Chase Lucas further and further down. So if he pops off, I'll be happy, but I think it'll be hard for him to reach out. Paschal was my number one.
Was he?
Yeah, he was my number one.
I guess we should have talked about this before the show.
It's fine. I got another one. Another one that I like is Julian Okwara.
Yes.
You see what he did. Same kind of thing as Paschal. When he was healthy, when he was in there, he was making plays. He got 2 sacks in a game. He was making things happen. And then he got injured and kind of derailed him, and he ended up not playing towards the end of the season because of the injury. But when he was healthy, when he was in the game, he was making plays opposite of an Aiden Hutchinson, opposite of another player on their defensive line. I don't know if Houston was up there yet, but it was impressive to me watching him getting these one-on-ones because Hutchinson is getting his reads, Hutchinson is getting his double teams, and it frees up the guy on the other side. And a guy that benefited from that a lot was Julian Okwara. And I think that they might move on from his brother Romeo in this offseason, whether that be cut him or move him or do something. So that'll just move him up further on the depth chart and give him more opportunities. So I look at a guy like Julian Okwara to kind of explode next year. Okay. And by explode, I don't mean 20 sack season or anything like that, but to be that secondary pass rusher, to finish the game, finish the team season with around double-digit sacks. Maybe he gets 10. Maybe he's somewhere around there to be a great complement to an Aiden Hutchinson.
You know what's great about this? Is we're having this conversation and there's plenty of options.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, that's so cool to have plenty of options while we're having this. So we didn't even bring up Kirby Joseph. He had a good year this year, but you remember in Hard Knocks, like, they had to convince him that he could play at the NFL level. Like, you guys really think I could play, coach?
Yeah.
You really think I could play at this level? And then you see it. Now he's like,
you saw him going crazy.
Yeah, I'm I'm Aaron Rodgers' daddy. So, like, that's another guy you could throw on the heap. I mean, there's just so many young players. I don't know if Malcolm Rodriguez, but you can go to Brock Wright. That's a tight end. If he gets a full season at tight end, what is he going to look like? You know, we talked about DeAndre Swift a little bit. He could very well have a breakout year.
I would not be surprised.
DeAndre Swift could have the year that Flannel Sam thought he was going to have this year, next year.
It's a contract year. He's a guy that's going to be hungry. He's going to want to prove that he can stay healthy, but that's the biggest thing with him is staying healthy, because we've seen when he's out there, when he's on the field, when he's making things happen, he's an explosive talent, but can he stay healthy? Can he stay in the game? And another guy that wasn't healthy last year, but again, this is kind of a cop-out if you pick him, is Tracy Walker.
That's not a cop-out.
That is a guy you looked at least I did, going into the season as the best defensive player on the Detroit Lions.
Well, and you saw the game after they lost him. They gave up 48 points.
How much they missed him so early.
Yeah.
And I am assuming they're going to move him to strong safety, because I think Kirby has that free safety spot locked. He is more of a ball hawk. He's going to play that open field guy. And Tracy has played strong safety before. Tracy knows what he's doing at strong safety. And he's a guy that can lay the lumber on some people. So I expect Tracy Walker to have a big bounce back year. And Chris, we have actually a video of Tracy Walker, who has been rehabbing and he's been working out now after his injury. And we see him going at it here. So this makes me really happy. Even just slight movements like this. There were 3 different videos on this. There were some of him doing box jumps, some of him doing high knees, but the lateral movements are what's really impressive to me, because that's what happens when you have a tendon injury like that, is the lateral movements. So seeing him already working out, already getting back in this PT is impressive to me, and I will be very happy to see Tracy Walker out there on the field again for the Lions next year, because he was their captain. He was their signal caller.
Yeah. It was a big loss when they lost him, and then after that they kind of recouped and simplified the defense, made things a little bit easier. But yeah, it's just great that we can have this conversation. So many people. We didn't talk about the offensive line because I think all of them are already established.
Pretty solidified, yeah.
It's not going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's already established. He's a dog.
I said no Jamison Williams.
No Jamison Williams.
Pick.
Yeah, that's the easy. Who's going to have a bust out year?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to me, Josh Paschal's still my guy. But like I said, it's awesome that we can have a conversation like this. And you don't know what rookie's going to surprise us this year either.
For sure. And I have one more dark horse kind of guy.
Okay.
James Mitchell.
Another tight end.
Another tight end.
Yep.
You look at him, he was, again, another Brad Holmes draft pick. They got him out of Vatech, and when they drafted him, he was that athletic guy.
Didn't he have a concussion?
The guy who could make some plays. He was injured to start the season. I think he did get injured in the middle of the season. It might have been a concussion.
No, I thought he was injured at Virginia Tech, and that's why he dropped so far in the draft.
I think it was worse than a concussion.
Torn ACL. Yeah, he tore his ACL.
So that's why he fell, because he was that prototypical tight end you're looking for. Big play guy, very athletic, can make all the catches. And I think that with another year under his belt, with a tight end room that's kind of up in the air, you don't know who's going to get the majority of the minutes. A guy like James Mitchell, who has all the talent, could go out there and surprise some people, could go out there and turn some heads.
Here's a name that we haven't mentioned really since the beginning of the season, and everybody was kind of hyped about him. Damn it, I just forgot his name. No, Quintez Cephas.
Yeah?
Quintez Cephas, when he's gotten on the field, he's made plays. He was the Lions' only go-to wide receiver early in the season 2 years ago. He showed a little bit of flash at the beginning of this season and obviously got hurt. But we talk about bringing in a big body wide receiver to complement Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Lions may already have him.
Yeah.
It's just, can this dude actually stay healthy?
Can he stay healthy?
But there's another guy that could surprise a lot of people that I forgot he was on the roster to literally 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You look at him, that is a perfect compliment to, like, I talked about it last week, having diversity in your wide receiver room, and I'm not talking about Tom Kennedy, I'm talking about skill set.
The what boy?
The what boy. You look at a guy like Quintez Cephas, and he is a guy that could run those intermediate routes. Well, you have Jameson Williams taking the top off, Amon-Ra on the underneath. Quintez Cephas is your possession, your contested catch guy, somebody you can throw a fade to in the end zone. So I don't mind that at all. And another guy, keep your eyes out for if he ever plays football again, Levi Onwuzurike. What's going on with Levi Onwuzurike? Is that back issue really that debilitating? Because speaking as a heavyweight, a back issue with some heavyweights is not something you can play around with.
No.
That is something that can be very debilitating for a reason. But this is a guy that was very, very highly touted in the NFL draft. The Eagles were pissed the Lions got him before them because that's who they were going to draft. And you look at this guy and maybe he's got something left. Maybe he can get out there, but that one I'm not as head over heels with because I really don't think he's going to play football. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know enough about it to make an intelligent comment, but you hope he plays again.
Yeah, you really do.
Obviously, we don't want anybody losing their career on that.
Definitely not. It's tough though. Like I said, big guys, 300-pound plus guys, back injuries, that is never a recipe for success.
Yeah.